So I came out to say it's a bit of a wintry day here in Perth, Western Australia. So I couldn't think of anything better than making a nice bowl of cream of broccoli. Now, I've never done it before, so I figured what I'd do is just get the ingredients, which is really, really simple. I have some water boiling for the broccoli, and I have some chicken stock coming up to temperature. I have my 3 heads of broccoli, some shallot, garlic, nutmeg, butter, white pepper, and coarse salt, along with a nice clean leek, just to add a little smoothness. Now, we don't want to think too much about this. We want this to be a quick and easy midweek meal. So let's just get into it. You don't need to put in the leek. However, I thought that it might be nice to have a little bit more taste than just the broccoli. Nice and clean. It's always good to check inside the leek just to make sure that there's no sand. Now the heat isn't even on yet, but we've got the butter in there. You can put the leeks straight in, because all we're going to do is saute these leeks. They don't need to be perfect, because later on we are going to blitz this whole thing with a stick blender anyway. Last. I'm going to put that on 100 degrees. Let's get the garlic ready to go in. I'm putting in 3 cloves of garlic. However, this might be cheating because this one is extremely large. We're sweating the leek down. The butter assists in a bit of taste a little later on. Cream of broccoli soup is extremely versatile because it's such a gentle taste. You can really add anything you like in. I know it's not a cream of mushroom, but you could also saute some mushrooms and put them in too. Again, this just needs to be a rough chop because this is going into the pot and then blitzed. But we will get a little colour on the leek first. I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. I'm also going to put in a shallot. I love the taste of shallots. Again, it's just a bit more of a complex taste profile. This does not need to go into the recipe. It is simply an option. And this shallot can go in with the leeks to sweat down. And we've got the heat on 100 degrees. Now it's time to prepare our broccoli. You can trim off the leaves. They can be a little bitter. And then we are just going to cut these into florets. Just assist in even cooking. And we are not getting rid of the stem of this beautiful vegetable. Arguably, it's where all the nutrients are. Something similar to this is lettuce soup. So head to sliverandbite.com.au and check out lettuce soup. It is super easy and extremely tasty. I was so surprised when I first made it. Better give this a stir. Getting some nice colour on there. What we'll do is just put on the lid, slightly ajar. And when you go to wash your broccoli, which I've already done, you want to make sure you do it upside down because you want the water to cascade through the actual broccoli. If you pour water on the top, it beads and runs off. Okay. Now, before we boil the broccoli florets, we are going to chop up the stalks because obviously they are a little denser, so it'll take a little longer for them to soften. This is looking fantastic. I'm going to lower the heat to 60 degrees and let's put in the garlic. More there. Put that on carefully. Cut this into quarters and a rough chop. And I have a large pot of water boiling behind me, ready to receive the broccoli in its various forms. We don't want to add the florets too soon because we don't want to simply waterlog them. We're better off having it in for the appropriate amount of time. This is looking fantastic, smells amazing. So we'll have the broccoli on for approximately 5 to 10 minutes to tender up before we put in the florets. I'm going to turn the leeks off now because they're nice and soft. Put these behind me, and I'm going to bring over the boiling water for the broccoli. Let's see how these are faring. Nice. Okay. That was about 10 minutes. Now we can put the rest of the broccoli in, because this only needs 5 minutes. And make sure you do not throw the water out, because the water will go into the soup. We don't want to simply just add water out of the tap, because this has got all of the nutrients and taste in it from boiling the broccoli. Okay, let's test one of these florets. Still a little firm. Very hot. Now at this stage you should have your chicken stock nice and warm. You can just bring it to the boil and then let it sit there, just so it doesn't need to work hard to get the heat back into it. At this stage your chicken stock should be nice and warm, ready to add. This will be done now. We'll turn this off. We're going to get a couple of cups of this. You can basically call it vegetable stock. There we go. Take this off the heat. And we will bring back our leek. I'm going to put that on 100 degrees. And then we're going to fish out the broccoli. And what I might do is keep some of this water in the event I do need to top up the master soup bowl. We can put the warmed chicken stock in. So at this stage, we're looking at 20 minutes. And it's all low impact cooking. Especially because you don't need to be delicate with anything. It's a rough chop, saute, boil, combine, and blitz. Easy. Now I can feel some sand at the bottom. So that's one of the reasons why we don't simply just combine the chicken stock to this water. Plus, there's too much water in here. Okay. Now, it looks as though the 2 cups will be enough to submerge. Now we can add in our white pepper and our salt and nutmeg. Give that a stir. And I've got that on 100 degrees Celsius. And it can just stay at that heat for now. And the lid slightly ajar. Now in the time this has been boiling, roughly 10 minutes, I've done the washing up, which is great because it's one of the worst things having to wash up after you've just cooked. But the fact now that all I have is this pot, the lid, this wooden spoon, and the blender. Fantastic. I would give this another 5-10 minutes. And it's okay to waterlog the broccoli now because it's taking on all of the tastes that are inside that pot. Now I've turned off the heat and I will remove the lid, and we just want to take a bit of the heat out before we blend it together. So it's been here for approximately 10 minutes. I reckon we are good to mix. Now I have some cream in some warm water just to bring it up to temperature because we don't want to add cold cream to our soup. It's only going to make it cold. Short bursts to begin with. We'll give this a taste, but it's beautifully creamed. And that's ready to go. And there you have it. In under 1 hour, you have a lovely, rich soup with very few ingredients. Now you can dress this up or just have it as is, but here at Sliver and Bite, you know we love a good garnish. So we're going in with some grated parmesan, a couple of nice deep fried sourdough croutons, a bit of salt, a bit of cracked pepper, and because we're fancy, a few chives. And who can resist a little bit of cream? thank you for joining me today and cooking prima broccoli. Head to sliverandbite.com.au to look at this and so many other recipes. See you soon.